If you want to be a successful business owner, you need to stay organized, and it's a lot easier to do that when you use the right tools. Today, I'm going to teach you how to use one of my favorite project management tools. It's called Asana, and it's totally free, and this is really the one tool that I can't live without. Plus, I'm going to show you how we use Asana both at the digital marketing agency. It's the same way you can use it if you're a freelancer, and we're going to show you how we use it at Laptop Empires to organize all the content that we put out through our blog, our podcast, and right here on the YouTube channel. Howdy, Mike Yonda here, and welcome to the Laptop Empire Show. I'm excited to dive into this Asana tutorial with you and show you how to use this incredible free software. We're going to start off looking at what just the format, how it's laid out, how all the pieces work together before I go in and I show you the features, how it works. And then if you stick around long enough, I'm really going to take you behind the scenes of what we do at Laptop Empires and at the agency and the different ways that you can use this software because it's incredibly flexible. And then to wrap things up, I'm going to go ahead and take you onto my phone and show you the mobile app because that's one of the things that makes Asana great. It's very clean, it's very easy to organize, it's very flexible, works great with teams, and allows me to do a bunch of things that it would have taken me multiple apps to use otherwise. But that mobile app is such a big feature of this software, and it's one of the things that makes it great. With the mobile app, I can see how things are going. I can keep track of projects with the team. I can assign new projects if I need to, or I can just have a nice place to put ideas that I can come back to later. But what I really love about it is it allows me to get away from the computer, to step back. I can still take care of work when I need to, but I'm not that dad that's always attached to the computer instead of focusing on the family. So let's go ahead and dive into this tutorial and head on over to my laptop. All right, so here we are on the home screen for Asana, and this home screen is actually pretty new. You can see tasks that are upcoming, people have assigned to you, your favorite projects that you'll use, and recent projects that you've used. Now I need to explain to you first, like, what are projects, like how does this whole thing work? And really what you need to know is that you've got your dashboard, which is this home space here, which you're going to see more of in a second. And then you have your navigation toolbar, whatever you want to call it, here on the left. And there's a lot of great tools that you can do here. But basically everything in Asana can be broken down into projects and tasks. So projects are the bigger buckets. They're these categories that you see on the sign. So you can see I have a lot of different projects that, are for different things. And so we organize tasks inside of projects. We use these as our buckets, so to speak. The tasks themselves are going to be, what is the action that you're taking? What is the thing you're creating? So creating this video for the YouTube channel would be a task. And then inside of that, we would have different information, subtasks, all of those kind of things. But you need to understand that big picture and how it all works together before we dive in. Now, from this toolbar, you're going to be able to create different projects, which are going to show up here on the left. You can set privacy settings and add different team members to different projects, so not everybody has access to everything if that's what you choose to do. You can assign favorites, which are going to show up here on the home page and here in the sidebar for ones that you go to repeatedly. And then you're going to have these other features at the top. So the home screen, which you can see here, you're going to have your inbox, which is where the communication and things happen. If somebody moves a task, completes a task, leaves a comment for you, it's going to show up here. It's a really useful tool. And then you've got My Tasks, which is one of my favorite things about Asana, because especially when you have a team like I do, if you've got multiple people that are working on different things and maybe they need you to review their work or they need you to do something, they can assign you a task and you're going to get a notification, but you can also go into My Tasks and see them all in one place. And so here you can see mine. I've kind of set up my stuff for today, and these are the things that I want to get done today, like record this video. But you can also see things I have upcoming. I can drop this down and see all of the assignments I have that are upcoming, that are already on the calendar and that have been assigned to me. And then when the date comes, right? So if I have any tasks assigned to me tomorrow, then they're automatically going to move from upcoming up here into today. They're actually going to fall under here at the bottom, so you can add them. But if people are adding new tasks for you, if you're being assigned to things, they're going to pop up here. And so you're going to be able to see, I've had a bunch of tasks that have been assigned to me. I need to go in and I need to check these off. Some of them I added myself to review later. Some of them are team members have assigned me to review some of their work or, for something that I need to get done, but they're all in one place. And so I go through, I sort those out, set dates, all of that kind of stuff. This is one of my favorite features of Asana because I can have my to-do list. I can see things that are assigned to me. And at the end of the day, I just go to these new tasks. I look at all of them, I put them in the correct projects, I set the right due dates, I kind of set them and forget them and then can go back to them later. Now, once you're in here, when you're creating if you want to create a project, that's kind of how you start. You're going to go over here to projects. You're going to go to, you can see Red Dirt Marketing Co. This is the name of my dashboard. So my Asana project, that's the name of my company, okay? And you can see here, I can invite team members. I've got tons of team members here, or I can add a project. Now, when I add a project, Asana's created all of these great templates for you. So if you have a template that works for you, you can just grab those templates. You can sort by the different types of templates. You can use the ones they recommend up here, or you can just create a blank project. For me, I'm creating a blank project most of the time and building something custom based on what I want. And so you're just going to name your project. And so we'll just say example project. And now from here, you're going to be able to choose, one, the privacy settings. Is it public to everybody that you've added to your Asana, or is it private to only specific members, right? And it just depends on what it is. But then you're going to choose one of the two primary layouts. There's the list layout and the board layout. And I want to show you what these look like really quickly before we create one. So the list layout, I'm going to go ahead and use an example. We'll use our podcast. This is the list layout. All right, it's just a general to-do list type thing. You're going to be able to see kind of, you can set headers like this. You can set the individual tasks, and then you can go into the individual tasks and you can add more information if you wanted. So if you wanted to create a task, you could create one, you could name it, assign it to people, set due dates, and all kinds of things. I'll go in more depth in those in a second. Now, the other option is to create a board. And so a good example of a board is the RD dashboard. This is our agency dashboard. And you can see here the tasks now, instead of looking like, lines in the to-do list, our tasks are going to look like cards on a board, very similar to Trello. So we can set the names of our columns. For us at the agency, we have next actions, we have in progress, needs review, and completed. And we can add projects here and people work on them. And as they get completed, you simply drag and drop the card. So if this one was in progress, it gets moved to needs review, right? And it's assigned to the person that needs to do it. So a really good example. Assigned to my team earlier today, I needed them to go into some materials that we had, and I needed them to pull some information for me and create a checklist. So I assigned it, they worked on it, now it's in review and they've assigned it to me. So I know now that I can go here and get the information I need. Once I grab it, I can move it to completed to be cleared out later. These ones are different projects to the agency, and now that they've been completed, they've been assigned to the appropriate person to check that work or to take it to the next step before it gets moved to completed. So this is what a board looks like, and we already showed you what a list looks like. So if you're creating your task, you're going to get to choose which of these that you want to do. All right, now we're here creating our new project. We're going to go ahead and choose a blank project, and we're going to call it example project. We're going to do a list. It's just real simple. We'll make a to-do list. And there's so many things you can do here. You can customize it in a lot of different ways. But some of the easy things you can do, you can change the name up here. You can click this star to add it to your favorites on the sidebar. You can decide who from your team, you're going to add into this, who you're going to give access to if you didn't make it open to everybody. You can also change it to private if you decide you want to do that afterward. Then with this drop-down menu, you can do a lot of other things. You can save it as a template. You can add tasks. You can even set the color, like if you want, what color you want the label to be in the sidebar. So then from here, it works just like any to-do list. You can start writing task 1, hit enter, task 2, put whatever tasks you want in there. You can create section headings. So if you want to separate these, so it's section 1, or maybe this is like a to-do list, right? To-do list. Now you can move this up here. You can have those tasks underneath it. And maybe you have stuff, that you want to do. You just want to keep ideas, right? So this could be ideas. And then underneath it, you could write idea 1, idea 2, just things that you come up with over the course of the day. And you can use this for all kinds of things. You'll see inside of my projects, we've got our Laptop Empires projects. We've got the Red Dirt, my agency projects. I've got some personal things like links to things that I want to read and watch, content ideas. We've got different things for our different courses. We've got training and resources. This is inside of the agency. This is where we keep all of our systems and processes. So if anybody wants to know how to do anything inside of the agency, like create a Facebook ad for a client, or set up Business Manager, or create a new project in Asana, inside of Training and Resources, they'll be able to select the task with the name they want, and then it's going to have video, documentation, all kinds of things. Because on these tasks, there's so much that you can add to them. Not only can you assign them to people and assign a due date, you can add descriptions where you can put as much information as you want. You can add attachments, and you can even go in here and create subtasks. So if there is something that you're trying to teach people, for example, how to create, let's say, how to create a YouTube video, right? So this is how to create and upload a YouTube video. Then we can have different tasks. So it could be one of those things like research topic, create script, record video, create thumbnail image, upload video, create tags on video, write video description, promote video, right? So you can put all the different steps on here, and then you can actually go assign people and due dates to these, or you can even go further into it and then do a description and even subtasks of that subtask, like what goes into researching a topic. You could have all the information there on how that works. So to give you a little more clarity on how this actually functions in real life, instead of me just creating a BS example like this, I want to take you back behind the scenes of how we do it in our business. So we're going to start with the agency, and I already gave you a little bit of an overview of how this works when I was showing you boards. But if you've got moving pieces, like this can work really well with production calendars. We use this board to figure out what everybody at the agency is doing, because there's multiple people that work here. And so what we're going to do, we have next actions, in progress, needs review, and completed. And these are our 4 key pieces of this board. This is like that Kanban style, or Kanban, I don't know how you pronounce it, that kind of style approach. This is what you see in Trello. And we actually used to do this in Trello, but what I found myself doing is I was using a list software to manage all my to-do lists and ideas and all those kind of things. And then I was using a board like this for the agency, and I wanted a tool that combined all of them. And that's why we ended up finding Asana and moving over from Trello. We also have things like active projects. So if we have projects that are long-term, these are here, and so we can kind of keep track of those. But it's very simple. I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to add, task number 1, or I'm going to put a client name, right? It's going to be, example. So it might say, the way we do it, it'll say client name, and then it'll say, something like, create new campaign. And this is in reference to a Facebook ad campaign. And so we would go in here and I would put in the instructions, I might write instructions, and a lot of time, so I'm going to take a Loom video like this one I'm recording, and I'll put that in there. Or I might say, please create a campaign for blah, 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 right? Whatever I need to put in there. And that's going to go in there. And then the team, when they're done working on whatever they're working on, they're going to grab this, they are going to assign it to themselves, and they're going to move it to in progress. And now I can see who's working on what. And then, so if I was picking this up, I was on the team, I would pick it up. When I completed the work, I would move it to needs review, and then we check our work. And so I would assign it to another person in the business that, would be the person to say, check my work. All right. And so that's how we do that. And so at the beginning of the day, there tend to be a ton of things, in this next actions, and just throughout the day, they complete these tasks, they get them done, and complete that work. And then we might, through the day, add more tasks. So this is kind of how you can use a board. And you can use it for all kinds of things. You could have it set up, differently. For example, you could have all of your ideas for content. You could have your content listed out here. So in like a calendar view of like, these are the next videos. So you know which ones are in production, which ones are posted. There's really whatever you can imagine that you could do with this, you can probably do. Inside of the list view, you're going to have something like we have for our podcast or our blog where we're going to have our content, we're going to have it scheduled out. And so you can see here, we've got our last few podcasts. We have this one coming out tomorrow. I started a blog, What Now? And so this one is in editing and it should be scheduled for publication by the end of the day and ready to go for tomorrow. We also are doing a bunch of batch editing tomorrow. So I'm going to end up adding probably 4 to 6 podcast episodes to this calendar later today. And then tomorrow we'll record all of them and assign them to dates for them to be produced by. Now, we actually have created a template. So we've got a template for what this looks like. So whenever we create a new topic, we are actually going to go here and we're going to duplicate this task that has all of these assignments. But this is a good example of how you can use the subtask feature. And we've listed the things we need to do for a podcast. We need to record it. We need to edit it, we need a feature image, we need show notes, we need it reviewed, and we need it published. And so we're able to go in here and, Bobby and I record. So we have that. Once that's done, then somebody on the team edits it, someone creates the feature image, we create the show notes. Erin, who's kind of our project manager, do it all superstar. She's going to go and review it, make sure everything's good, and then the team is going to schedule it for publication on the appropriate date. So you can actually build all of that stuff into here and keep everything organized. Now, I don't want you to be intimidated by looking at my Asana and seeing all these different projects, the editorial calendars, the production calendars, all of the agency stuff, all the different things that we have, because the reality is it took a long time to get here. We've been doing this for a couple of years and we've just built it up slowly over time. An easy way to get started is if you have a YouTube channel or you have a blog or you have a podcast or something like that, create a nice production calendar where you can keep track of the things that, the new episodes you have coming out or the new blog posts that you have coming out, keeping that organized and just plan everything ahead of time. Or if you just need to use it for your personal to-do list, it works really great for that also. So now what I want to do is I want to take you over to my phone and show you how the mobile app works. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording my screen so you can see this. And we are going to dive into it. All right, so I am inside of the Asana app. You can see here it's defaulted onto my task list. So this is the same thing that we saw earlier, where you can see the projects I'm working on for today. You can see upcoming projects. But up here at the top, you can change this to a variety of different things. You can also add tasks directly from here. This is one of the things I use it for most. So I'll actually click this little pink and orange button at the bottom. And then if I have something that I need to remember, I have an idea, whatever it may be, I can write in here. I might say something like, don't forget to go to the post office and get stamps on the way home, right? And so I'll do that. I'm going to go ahead and set a due date. I'll set it for today. And now that, when I create this, is actually going to pop up right here inside of new. It's going to be this top one. And so I can actually drag it down, and I'm going to go ahead and put it at the very top of my to-do list. And there you go. And so that was a really easy way, if I need to add something really quickly. But you'll notice it went up here into this whole kind of like new tasks catalog at the top. And so like I said, at the end of the day, I tend to sort through that and get all of that organized. But it's a really great way if you have an idea, content idea, something that needs to get done, you just throw it in there, very easy. And it's automatically going to show up on your computer as well. Another thing that you can do, you can click over to the bell. You can see your inbox and stuff like I mentioned earlier. You can search. So if you need to find a specific thing, you can go on here. So if I want to find the podcast, calendar, I can type podcast and, it'll pull up. Oh, there it is, the LE podcast. Now I can see our podcast editorial calendar. I can look it up very simply. I love that. You can also, this one, that's the third one, projects, you can see all of your projects. You can either see favorites or you can move over to all and you can see every single one of your projects that you have and you can go over and click to it. So I can click on the dashboard and I can see that board view that I just showed you from my team, and I can actually look at the tasks. I can see what's in progress, what needs review, what's been completed. I can go through it. I can go ahead. I can clear things. I can move things over. If I want, I think I can turn it sideways. Nope, I can't. Okay, so good to know. But this thing needs review. I've reviewed it. I want to move it to complete. All I got to do is click on it and drag it over. And there it is, like real drag and drop stuff. It's really nice. So as you can see, the mobile app is killer. It's so easy to use. It's so clean. I use it all the time. A lot of times what will end up happening is like I'll be hanging out with my family in the evening, the boys are playing, maybe my wife's watching The Bachelor or something like that I don't care about, and I might get in there if I've got an idea or I'm reading a book, and I'll go there and I'll add some ideas, I'll organize some things. Like it's very nice. It allows me to kind of be there, and be present with my family, but kind of get some things done that I want to get done because, let's be real, I don't care about The Bachelor, but my wife's going to watch it. So it is what it is. So that's it for today. That's our Asana tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications because I don't want you to miss an episode. We're going to be putting out more tutorials like this. If you want to know more about Asana, if you want to know how to use a particular feature or a way that you might be able to, use it to organize a specific thing that you do in your business, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to help you come up with ideas and figure out how you can use Asana in your business. Also, if you check in the description, we have a guide. If you want to learn how to create an editorial calendar the way that we did, or a production calendar, if you're a YouTuber, if you're trying to build your YouTube channel, you're a blogger, whatever it may be, we actually have a 12-minute walkthrough guide that shows you how to just do that in pretty excruciating detail. It's totally free, so just click, grab that guide, check it out. And that's it. We'll see you next time.